Good morning, I guess, everybody. My name is Janea Menicucci, and I am in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I am so excited to be here with you all. I'm going to talk to you today about Edcamps and how we're going to empower our students through voice and choice. So let's see if this works here. If you could let me know if you cannot see this, that would be awesome. So over here, let me move this window out of the way so you can actually see everything here. Again, my name is Janea Menicucci. I'd love if you follow me on Twitter because that is where all of my stuff lies. I don't know why my slide is not changing. There we go. So just a little bit about me. I am one of the founders in New Mexico for our Edcamp. It is a national organization. It's an unconference, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we continue on. I have over 20 years of teaching experience. My background ranges from regular ed to special education, all the way to universal design for learning. I have taught every grade from kindergarten through 8th grade and supported teachers and administrators across the board. And then I am very passionate about empowering choice for all and making sure curriculum is accessible for all students. And so we're going to talk today about what is an Edcamp, why is it important, how can this be done for teachers and for students or educators, and then along with that, we're going to talk about how do we empower voice and why is voice important. So why do we want that to be a part of everything we're doing? Especially in this day and age, everybody has a voice. And in our classrooms, we find many times that we have students of all different levels, and we always have our students who we're not sure, they don't say a whole lot. They sit in the back quietly, but their voice is just as powerful. So we want to be able to reach everybody's voice with that. So let's start off. What is an Edcamp? An Edcamp is participant driven. Really, it's all about experience, not about experts. Anytime you do an Edcamp, they're free to attend. They don't necessarily have to have the name Edcamp, but essentially it's an unconference. And then they have this thing called Rule of 2 Feet. So most conferences, they expect you to attend the session. They expect you to understand what's going on in the session and stay and absorb all of that. And somebody's usually at the front delivering a presentation, kind of like what I'm doing now. I'm giving you this presentation about an Edcamp. In an Edcamp, it's an unconference. So there's no schedule when you get there. Everybody comes that morning or virtually, and we build the conference that morning. We decide how we're going to build it, what we want to discuss. Everybody comes to the table as an expert. Everybody brings something to share. It's super exciting and a totally different way of coming about and sharing knowledge with each other, because I feel as educators, everybody's an expert and everybody has something to bring to the table. The other thing that's super important is there's the thing called Rule of 2 Feet. So what that means, so that's actually like your feet that you're walking with, that if you decide to join a session and you've gained the knowledge that you need, you have the ability to stand up and join another session, because maybe it fits your needs, your bucket was filled in that session, but you also were very interested in the session that was going on next door. Nobody takes offense. It happens all the time. Folks come in and out of the session, so it's very fluid, and it is just a jam-packed day or a half day or maybe a couple sessions that you leave with this incredible knowledge. You start to build your network of teachers and educators. If you're doing this with students, you build that sense of community, and you change that role so that the students become the leaders and they're in charge and they're the ones delivering the content, or they're having that experience, or they're trying to solve a problem. So have you ever been to an unconference? This is probably my favorite conference now. I'm very passionate about Edcamp because I leave that unconference knowing so many more educators and then gaining experience of somebody who's actually in the field with that firsthand knowledge. So what a typical unconference is not structured. It's very fluid, like I was saying. We build the session that morning. And so once you build that session, we could start with maybe a topic from what is coding all the way to how are we going to deliver PBL from kindergarten all the way to high school. Is it possible to have PBL? Or you can come with a question or a problem you want solved. In my classroom, I have grades 3rd through 6th. How am I supposed to meet the needs of all of those students? So you're getting this collaborative field of expertise from other colleagues, from maybe somebody who is an expert in that field, and you're having discussions. There's no formal presentation. Nobody's standing up at the front giving a formal presentation. You're gathering resources, you're gathering knowledge, you're gathering experience. So that's the power of an Edcamp. So here's our rule of 2 feet and how to be an awesome participant in an Edcamp. So it's super important that you start a conversation. So there's 3 big things. A session can start with a big idea, a question, a problem, a doubt, an opinion, or a story. So remember when I said earlier that nobody has to be the expert. I feel in education, we're all experts. We have so much knowledge. Even our first-year teachers have a lot of knowledge to bring, along with our veterans. So you want to take all of those together and bring it together to maybe tackle one of these ideas. And if you take it in the sense of showing it to your students, you're going to see the exact same thing. Maybe they want to take a deeper dive into the study of a continent. Maybe they want to look into some history. Maybe they're focused on a piece of literature and they want to find the deep dive or the hidden meaning behind that piece of literature or that poetry. This is where we as a teacher can pull back and be a facilitator and help guide those questions, but let our students take that charge. Same thing for an Edcamp. You typically will have a facilitator in there to help maybe guide the conversation or bring people back on track. The facilitator will also take notes. And then same thing, as I said earlier, listen to your feet. If you're in a session that just isn't interest of you, nobody takes offense. You don't want to waste time, but you lead with your feet. So you have permission to stand up and go check out another session. Or like I said earlier, many times we want them to be able to see several sessions so you can gather the information and then you're able to jump into another session. The very unique thing now with so many schools and classrooms being virtual, you can jump in and out of breakout rooms to have that conversation. And then you also know that somebody's always taking notes and you can come back in and later on visit those notes and see what's going on. So what's it all about? Edcamp. So I love this graphic because we hear all of these words and all of these conversations that happen during an Edcamp. They are engaging. It's totally collaborative. Networking. I have met people from all over in an Edcamp. And the other amazing thing is the power of Twitter too. If you talk about this hashtag of if you do the hashtag Edcamp, you can find great conversations, a network of people, resources. It's very beneficial to everybody. It's not just something for administrators, but it's something for all grade levels and all walks of life. I really appreciate the fact that multiple grade levels come together along with administrators and they're tackling and solving problems all at the same time. So I really love that. It's innovative. You are being professional. You're also being transformational. So you're taking current things happening in the classroom. So right now, distance learning is one of our big topics. And my Edcamp here in New Mexico in October, we are getting ready to launch a virtual series. So we're going to have a week-long Edcamp. And we're going to send out a survey, which I'll show you in a minute. And we're going to build our sessions based on that, but we're gonna do it over a week. So by the end of the week, you have the opportunity to choose from 8 different sessions and maybe 8 different topics, and you can jump in and out and see. So instead of spending an entire day on professional development, we're going to spread it out for a week because we know everybody is busy. And so you can pick and choose when you want to come and be inspired, or maybe have a problem solved, or you yourself can come and be the expert and deliver that information, which is really fun and exciting. So I'm going to show you an example of our Edcamp site just so you can see. So I'm going to exit out of my program here. I have a link that will be posted. Mr. McCarthy is going to post this for you as well, but I can grab the URL to this and I can drop it in the chat. Here's all of my resources along with the link to my presentation that you can go back and visit. But so let me grab that real quick for everybody that you can, and I will drop this in the chat. If I can, I think. Maybe not. I'll come back to it. I'm not sure if I can drop it in the chat. Okay, I'll make sure that you guys get the resource for this so that everybody can go back and visit all of my resources. But let me show you this site that we have built just so you have an idea. And this is, you're welcome to come and visit this site to see past sessions. So you can see that we have a virtual Edcamp coming. So this is one way to deliver it at your school campus, or if you're going across maybe a district or multiple schools, or if you want to work with your students within to deliver an Edcamp. And so I'm going to show you what a session board looks like. So this one we've done on a Saturday. We usually call it a Saturday teacher session because we know as educators, the learning never stops and we are always wanting to do stuff. So we would run an hour session and then we would fill out this board. So this one was, COVID hit and we didn't get to deliver this one. But here's an example. So this one, you can see that the participants chose to talk about iPads making movies for grades K through 5. How would you do something with Makerspace? This one we're talking about 3D printing, mystery science, Legos for education, talking about keynotes. So some of the topics repeat themselves. Some of them are maybe a one-time session. So there's, we usually try to fill all of them. You can adjust your rounds however you'd like to give sessions and to give feedbacks for it. Then we keep all of our previous done sessions here. So you're welcome to come back and look at all of our sessions. The really unique thing about it is every session has a note-taking piece to it, which is super exciting. So we have a facilitator who usually takes notes. We try to maybe connect who the participants were so that if they didn't necessarily work with me, I knew who I could reach back to. And then we add in notes and resources and references so folks can come back. And if they missed a session, they had some references, or if it went so fast, because we know an hour is a short amount of time and a lot of information and great conversation can be held in there. So you can come back and you can learn about the session if you missed it, or you can grab some other resource from it, which is pretty amazing and a unique thing about that. So again, this session board and this whole website, you're here to welcome to come and take a look and see what happens. You can see the different ones. We've built the board virtually within here. You can also build it just paper and pencil. With that, oops, back to my other slide here. So I'm going to toggle back and forth. This is the shortcut. This is the link to it. It's bit.ly/edcampnm. So you're welcome to jump on this website, check it out, and take a look to see kind of how we have set up the delivery process. We usually try to have people register to attend just so we have an idea of how many folks are coming. You don't have to necessarily do that. So again, here's what we talked about. So if we were meeting face-to-face, we have our little Post-it notes type papers here, or sticky notes of any kind. And usually participants get 3. And we ask them these 3 questions. Write something you want to learn more about. Write something you would like to share, or write a question that you would like solved. So I know many times we feel that we're only in our 4 walls of our classroom. Well, this gives us an opportunity to collaborate and talk with other teachers, and maybe have the understanding that we're not the only one with this problem, or this thing that's happening in our classroom. So maybe we've been asked to teach both reading and math in the same 1-hour block, and then how are we going to be creative to get that solved? So what we do is then we gather all these sticky notes and we put the like information together, and that's how we come about and build our session board, which is pretty exciting. And then we determine whether or not we want to, how many sessions we want to have, and then how many rounds we want to go through. So if I want to do 4 rounds, and then within the 4 rounds, I can offer 8 different choices for people. So we would do every hour and maybe take a break, a 10-minute break, and so we could rotate to the next sessions. I'm going to show you here how we can build a session board with our students. So there's 2 options here. I have this amazing one that I've built in Google Slides. So you can also use it, your educators can drive your session, or your students can drive your session. So if you were doing maybe a literature circle and you wanted your students to be in charge of their learning for that literature circle, or you were having a mathematical discourse discussion and you wanted them to work through an Edcamp type session, and maybe you wanted them to figure out different ways to solve a problem, or to learn how to do some sort of algebraic equation, or you want them to teach each other maybe a certain part of history, and you want them to take different pieces and parts of that. So building your session board can be in person, it can be done virtually, and really the biggest piece is that it's informal in our presentation. So I'm going to exit out here again, and I want to show you this session board here. I've given everybody a copy of this session board, which is pretty exciting. So this was built in Google Slides. You can also download this template in a PowerPoint presentation. And I'm pretty sure it can be converted into an Apple presentation as well, which is exciting. Is there a question? Sure. And if I need to slow down, I totally can. I get so excited about all of this, I go a little fast. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't worry about it. If you go, yeah, I'll just jump in if I need to say anything. So don't worry about it.
Okay, perfect. So this is from a great website called Slides Media. It's also on my resources here. So what happens is when I actually hit present on this, it becomes this great interactive board for our students. So I click start, and then I have all these choices. So what I would do is I would come in here and I would change these once we've decided what our sessions are. And so if I click on one, it takes me to what the title is, and then it automatically links me to my notes document. And so when my students choose this board, so maybe we were talking about coding, and I had several students who wanted to go here, they could open up the notes document, we can have this discussion about coding, and then all the notes are kept there, and my students are leading the conversation and sharing their facts and knowledge about coding, and I'm not the one, I'm just maybe here facilitating it, which makes it really nice. So this is just an interactive slideshow that I can work through. So I'm going to actually show you one that I've filled out, has a sample. So here, these were the topics that were discussed. So everyone can code, a session on PBL, talking about STEM, Flipgrid, Nearpod. If you haven't heard about green screens, it's a lot of fun. You can tell I have a blue screen behind me. I use this for production stuff. in the United States, we've now adopted these next-gen science standards. There's an amazing organization that talks about Girls Who Code. They wanted to learn about makerspace. There's a great project out there for mystery science. Lego for Education offers some amazing things. So when I put this in the share, oh, not the share, sorry, my bad. When I put this into present, and my students go in here and they wanted to join the STEM group, some of these questions were posed. What is STEM? What's the difference between STEM and STEAM? How do I get started? What resources do I need? And then there's always this notes document here. And then I made it so that it could make a copy for our students, and hopefully this will open up. And so here's the session notes, and we would just title in here STEM, so that my students knew what the topic was about. And then somebody and everybody could come in here and take notes and make it a collaborative document. But also the most important part about an Edcamp is the conversations and maybe the demonstration or what they're sharing or what they're working on. So then I can come back over here, and after that round was done, maybe I decided I wanted to go learn about green screens. And so these were just some questions that were posed or ideas that were going to be discussed during that Edcamp. So this is a combination of a student board and also maybe an educator board, because they could come in here and they can jump into all of these different resources and see what they're going to talk about and maybe what they want to learn or where they were headed with that. So I will share this. When you grab this one here, I have it set up that you click on the link and it'll make a copy for you. So you can have your own copy of this to create your own. The trick over here, just a little heads up on this trick to change the title here, because when you click on it, it links to all of the slides. So all of your slides are here and they're ready to go. But to edit the title here, you have to go to slide and you have to edit the master slide. So you need to click on that first slide. And when I click here, this allows for me to edit that slide so that it will look like this and change this titles. You can also come down here. So then you just click off the X and it brings you back. And there's all these different icons to choose from. So you can change the little icons up here to enhance whatever you're talking about. You can also take some of these away. So maybe we were only going to have 2 rounds. So we were going to do this round with 3 sessions in each round. So remember, you're going to go in and you're going to build your own session board. Nobody's coming in with a set agenda, but you're coming in with ideas. So here's an example of what we would send out now. Since we can't meet in person, we would have them fill out a form. So here are our same 3 questions that we ask. And so if I were to preview this, this is what my participants would be given. So what is something you want to learn more about? What is something you'd like to share? And what is a question you'd like to solve? From that, we take and we compile all of the answers and we try to group them in like categories. From that, we come back over here, and this is how we build this board. So this is just one way of building the board, but you can also build it just simply in a docs. Let's see where it is. I had it open. I think I closed it. That's okay. So just in a simple doc, like this one. Let me come over here to this board. I think it's this one. So we just used a simple Google Doc and we built in the table, and then everything we linked our notes to. So we added the notes page in there, and in doing that, we set the permissions so that anyone who clicked on that link could edit the session board and also write in and add their own notes and thoughts into it. So there's multiple ways of building it out. You could even go into a Sheets document and build it out, but it's really nice that folks can come in when they're here for the Edcamp they can see your sessions, they can see the rounds, and they can decide where they're going. I think this is really important. I know a lot of the focus of this week is the STEM and the PBL. How exciting the world of STEM is so amazing, and there's so many different aspects in computer science, in the sciences, arts, the math, to grab all of those pieces and bring all of your experts to the table. And it's not necessarily a formal expert or the person in charge of a company, but you're bringing your local experts and maybe across schools and across grade levels to share your knowledge and to build on your knowledge. So you can talk about, in first grade, we started with simple block coding. And then by the time we're reaching high school, maybe they're doing Python, or they're really taking that deeper dive into coding. Now maybe they've moved into HTML. So what a great way to build that cross-curricular or cross-grade level alignment and conversation, and everybody feels that their voice is being heard. And that's a huge, powerful thing now, is that we're giving voice to everybody, and we're also giving choice. Because I know if I'm told, well, you have to attend these 6 sessions and they're assigned to you, I'm not probably going to be as engaged when I am told, look, we have 8 sessions and I need you to choose 4 of the 8. So you feel you have ownership and you get excited to see, oh, okay, I want to go to this STEM one. I want to learn about coding, but I'd also like to learn about Flipgrid. It looks like I can attend all of these. So that's what's super exciting about Edcamp, is you're able to really take ownership and jump in and go and plan out your path, and then also network with people, which is pretty powerful and exciting. So with that, I kind of led into our next thing of empowering a student's voice. So I'm not sure if you all have heard about Flipgrid. Flipgrid is one of the most exciting tools out there, and it is totally and completely free. We as educators, we love stuff that's free. We really like when we're able to bring something into our classroom that enhances it, and also doesn't cost us a lot of money to have our students participate and be a part of it every day. So for me, giving a student a voice can really change their path and their way of interacting and being a part of their education, and they can have some of that say in what they're learning and where they want to go with it. So I'm not going to read this to you because we're all there, but just some highlights on how do you Flipgrid. So I'm going to show you what Flipgrid is. We're actually going to jump into a Flipgrid board, and if you want to play along, I have a code that you can be a part of it, and you could wave to me and say hello. I'd love to see all of your faces who are here. You can tell I'm a little excited. I love working with educators, and I'm so excited to be here with all of you. But we've used Flipgrid from pre-K, so pre-service, kindergarten, all the way up to our university level, through staff meetings, through our professional learning communities from our PLCs. Flipgrid is amazing. It's all video, so we meet the needs of all of our students. So those students who maybe are struggling with writing, they're struggling with reading, they don't feel that they have that pressure to perform writing or to perform a reading piece, but they can talk to you. They can tell you their thoughts. I will tell you right now, so many of our kids, they want to be a YouTube star. So this kind of gives them a safe platform to create a video, tell you their thoughts, tell you their feedback. It's a great way to check in with your students, have book discussions. Just some little highlights. Our music and our art teachers love this because they can listen to their students play their instrument and not necessarily waste a ton of class time, not being able to call each student up one by one. They can actually listen to everybody playing and have feedback. Great way to give a reflection. Student reflection on their learning, if they take that time and they reflect back and they talk about what they've learned, it is so insightful and so powerful to be able to see what our students are talking about and reflecting on and how they're feeling about their learning. So let's try it out. Let's go over and let's check out what Flipgrid is. So here's the website to join my board to say hello. If you want to join the entire discussion, if you go to flipgrid.com and you just put this code in, Jam Caravan 2020, that'll bring you to the entire Flipgrid board. So I'm going to pause for just a second so that if anybody wants to join in, you can open up a new tab and jump on over to Flipgrid and we can explore this together. It might ask you if you have a Microsoft or a Google account to join. So I think I set it up so it should be guests. If not, let me know and I will try to change it. I generated. So I wanted to say hello to everybody and I wanted you to share a fun fact about yourself. And then I would love for you to tell me why empowering students' voice is important and why do we need that in education? So the really amazing thing about this is all you have to do is share this code with your students or with you all. And there's a box on Flipgrid that says join. You would just type this code in, or if you have a phone, you can download the app and you would just scan this QR code and then you'd be right into my board. And what happens is, you can see here, I already left a little video, but very quickly with a click of a button right here, I click this and it's going to bring me to a video. I have 1 minute and 30 seconds to tell you about why student voice is important and introduce myself. Along with that, so then you just click this little camera here to do that. If I forgot what my topic was, I can open this back up and move it over here and it'll tell me what we were talking about and what I needed to record my video about. I can also take notes. So if I wanted to come over here and I wanted to plan out my writing here, I could take some notes and type in my notes here. So when I make my video, I can pay attention. I also have this amazing feature of effects, which is a lot of fun. Sometimes our students don't necessarily want to have their face shown. So we have some filters here. We can also use the filters to help because maybe you don't want to see me looking like this, but this is really great if I can pixelate out, but I could still hear what my student has to say. So if they were camera shy or they weren't allowed to be on camera, I could pixelate it out so that they don't have to necessarily be there. I can make it green. I can go black and white. So I can get my best look going towards you all, my best filter. And our middle and high school students are really good about selfies and they know how to do all these filter effects. I can also come in here and I can change and I could have a whiteboard. If I wanted to teach a math lesson, if I wanted to show a notebook, graphing paper, it's just really powerful to give some kind of effect here. I can also do a split screen. So I could bring myself back in here and I could use this split screen while I'm recording. And all I do is it's going to count me in, going to tell hello, come back up here along with split screen. Now that I have that paper, I'd like to draw. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to record, counting me down. Hi, everybody. My name is Janea Menicucci, and I am super happy to be here. I have been an educator for over 20 years, not 25 yet. I am very passionate about student voice. I think it's so important that we give every student and every person in the field of education the opportunity to share their thoughts and share their insights. And then all you do is hit stop. I could keep talking. I'm sorry I wasn't very coordinated here, but you can come over here and you can write on this. You can also add in text. So if I wanted to add my typewriter in, I can add in some additional text. Move this over to my board and then I can keep recording. I can move my little penguin guy out of the way. Oops. And then I'm going to hit next. You don't need to hear me. Everybody. My name is. You don't need to hear me again. And then they always want you to take a picture. Everybody loves a selfie. I wouldn't ask you to take a photo or do anything that I myself wouldn't do. So I'm going to take a photo. Let's move back into the screen. So there's my photo. And then it's going to upload my video. I can leave my name in there, and I can type in here, hello, everyone. And then I hit submit. And that quickly, oh, look at you all. Yay, thanks for playing. You guys have added to our board. I absolutely love it. What I love about Discovery is there is a ton of educators all over the world that have built already made boards and topics, and then they've also linked with different partners. So they've connected with Minecraft, Wonderopolis, Nearpod, Breakout EDU. Here's this whole thing about code.org. You can come in here and you can grab any of these topics and any of these boards and share them with your students from some great pre-made activities, but you're already adding in student voice and student choice. So not only are you adding in, you could even make this into your Edcamp board. So they could come in and they could look at your topics and all the videos that you have there, and to have that discussion and be a part of it, or they can create their own board. I just love the fact that it's not paper pencil. It's an opportunity for our students to come in, and educators to connect with each other, especially if we can't be in person anymore. So why not give them this safe platform that it doesn't necessarily have to be out in the public, but you're giving them a platform and a place for their voice to be heard. You could have them make it into a podcast, and they could really talk about anything or everything. Wouldn't it be great if they delivered a podcast, if they wanted to tell you maybe about a battle that happened, or if they want to tell you about maybe they read the book Gone with the Wind, or I know for 4th and 5th graders, the book Holes is a great book right now, or the book Wonder. So what if you had this whole book discussion where the students gave you insight and thoughts on chapters 1 through 5, or we had a discussion on the next chapter of maybe 6 through 12, or you had a science experiment. What if you were working with STEAM and STEM? So I wouldn't necessarily have to be sitting here. How cool would it be if I built this small engine and I was able to film it, and I could give you my narrative of how I worked through that process to build that engine? It can all be captured here just by the click of a button, and my students can share that, and you can hear their thought process and how they created it and how they generated it. It's such a powerful tool, and the fact that it's free is even more exciting. So I hope you guys take a moment and come in and play with the Flipgrid. No pressure. Just know that this board will be open, and I would love for you to give me some feedback and thoughts on it with Flipgrid. I've also attached in my resources. They are pretty amazing. Here it is. At flipgrid.com, they have an actual resource page. They give you a whole guide on how to get started, some guides on at-home learning. There is professional development that they run in 30-minute sessions all the time. And then if you come down here, these gals are amazing. They're on Instagram and on Twitter, and they will go and give you they'll spend the time and answer questions and work you through this entire process. But let me show you what the actual educator dashboard looks like. So when I come over here and I go back to my dashboard as an educator, you can see here, these are all the different discussion boards that I have made and used for many different things that I've done. But it's very simple to just create a new group. All I do is choose create a group, and then I build my topic, my title. Because it's linked to my name, I get a personalized code every time. Menicucci is a little tough, so I didn't want to give you guys that code. I thought the Jam Caravan was kind of fun, kind of rhymed. But you can make this board private, or you can make it public. I have seen teachers use this for a scavenger hunt at school. You can do what's called a flip hunt, where you can send your students kind of like on a choose your own adventure, and they have to work their way through different activities to get to the end. but all done through recording a video. So how powerful that we can actually hear what's going on in their head, follow their thought process, and not have the frustration of some of our students who maybe are struggling writing, or they're not necessarily at grade level, but everybody feels that they're a part of it. So that's the thing that I love, is that we've been able to make this accessible for all of our students. So if I come back here, they also have this guy built in, which is an immersive reader. So if I have a student who needs to have this read to them, I can click on this. Let's see if it loads. It might not work because of Zoom. But usually, oh, I have to hit play. That's always key.
Welcome to Flipgrid. Tap red camera below to open the Flipgrid camera. Then record a short video and waving hands say hello.
So not only does it read to them, but you work on that fluency. So it's following the text, it's tracking it for our students, and then they understand what they have to do. They can come back here and they can jump in and record their video, which I absolutely love. You as a teacher have the power to come over here and give feedback, send your students comments, video feedback, really have that great dialogue and go back and forth with your students, which is really, really amazing. So let me jump back in here. I get so excited. I could spend hours on Flipgrid, but it's so much fun that I really feel it's important that you kind of look between Edcamp, not only using Edcamp, but also enhancing student voice through Flipgrid makes a big difference. So I'm going to show you a little bit here about my resources. If you want more information about the Edcamp Foundation, I have added them in here. So it's professional development for teachers by teachers, but I've also started to see a huge movement of our students moving into our educators and teachers taking this and moving Edcamp so that it's student run and student led pieces. So it gives you all of the stuff I talked about, a lot of different examples, and then they talk about the upcoming events. And you can see here's where Edcamps are happening. They are happening all over the world, which I love. And if you guys would like to take this and embrace it, please let me know how I can help and support. The power of Edcamp is just so amazing. And then you can tie in that Flipgrid piece. My other favorite resource is this lovely lady named Paula. She has made all of these incredible interactive Google Slides and PowerPoint. So this is where I grabbed our board for the Edcamp board. It's under her Party Challenge board. And if you just go up here to education, she has all of these different, and they are all free. So as long as you just give her credit, you can download the templates down here. So you can download it in PowerPoint or you can download it in Google Slides. And it just makes for a great way to grab your students' attention, really empower them to choose their learning, to choose where they're headed with this, and really where they want to take their learning. And you as an educator, I feel your voice is just as important. So by building interactive presentations and using Edcamp, I feel we're enhancing and allowing everybody to be a part of that. So I know I talked really fast, but there might be questions. So here's my information. I thoroughly thank you for letting me be a part of this. And I kind of saw the chat popping up. So if there's questions, please let me know. If there's anything else you'd like me to revisit on, I would love to. So please, if I can help in any way, let me know. On my slides is my Twitter account. I'd love to connect with you all. I think Mr. McCarthy also put my email address on the, yes. So feel free to reach out. I'd love to hear from you all. So.
Thank you very much, Janea. Thank you very much for this session. Really
You're
got a lot of ideas for myself as well. And yeah, kudos from a fellow ADE to you.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
So we'll see you again later this week.
Yes.
It will be Thursday for us and Wednesday night for you, as far as I know.
It is. Perfect.
Yeah.
I wish you guys a wonderful day of learning. I wish I could be there all day to learn with you guys.
Yeah. Let's hope that one day everything settles down and we'll see each other face to face, not just during online. Maybe we'll organize an Edcamp here in Kazakhstan together.
Oh, that would be amazing. I would love it. So wishing you guys a wonderful evening, or evening for me, but morning for you all. So,
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.